Welcome. I'd like to call the Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. It is 4:30. Meeting will begin. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And a quick moment of silence after. Commissioner Myers, if you lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Myricks. As always, can we get a roll call on tonight's commissioners?
Talmadge.
Here.
Soto Presley.
Here.
Garay. Myricks.
Here.
Hopperidge.
Here, for the record, we have 4 present with 1 absent. All right, number 3 is a declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 4 brings us to communications.
Commissioner, our office received a letter dated September 29th from Mr. and Mrs. Rosado. They live at 241 Conkey Street, and they made an offer to purchase 245 Conkey Street in the amount of $1,700.
Okay, just put this in our minutes that we received this communication, and we'll refer this to staff. No actions needed tonight. All right, number 5 minutes. We've got 2 dating September 6th, 2022 and September 20th, 2022.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as is for September 6, 2022 and September 20th, 2022 for the Department of Planning and Development, the Redevelopment Commission.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Talmadge, seconded by Commissioner Soto Presley. If there's no questions or discussion on these minutes, roll call then, please.
Talmadge.
Yes.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Garay. Myricks. Oh, she's on, okay. I'm sorry, she said yes. Myricks.
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, let the record know, motion passes with 5 yes. We've got Heather Gray has joined us by Zoom now. Thank you. All right, number 6 is homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. Looks like we have 1.
Commissioners, we have Ms. Mary Elizabeth Carlson. She's joining us on Zoom today. She's purchasing 613 Mulberry Street. Staff is requesting approval for the homebound conditional forgivable loan for her in the amount of $2,500, and she will be closing on October the 14th.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Miller. I see that she is on Zoom, so I don't know. The commissioners, would you like to?
Just a couple quick questions for Ms. Carlson. So, Ms. Carlson, how did you hear about the homebound program?
Through our realtor?
You mean your realtor?
Yes, through the realtor.
There is no A between the L and the T. But anyway, may I ask who your realtor is?
Yes, her name is Leah.
Okay. Are you a first-time home buyer?
Yes, I am.
And you coming all the way from Waukegan, Illinois, huh?
Yes, that is correct.
All righty then. I have no other questions for this for Ms. Carson. Anyone else has any questions for Ms. Carson? With that being said, Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of the homebound conditional forgivable loan program for Mary Elizabeth Carlson for 613 Mulberry Avenue in Hammond.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Myricks, seconded by Commissioner Talmadge. Let's have a roll call, please.
Talmadge.
Yes.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Garay.
Yes.
Myricks.
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Congratulations. Welcome to Hammond.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
So
All
much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're home.
right, you may sign off if you want, but If you want to stay on Zoom, you're more than welcome. Thank you. All right, number 7's approval of 1412 Delo Parkway, modification of Lost Marsh covenants.
So, Mr. President, if we could move to the next item, I believe Mr. and Mrs. Cortese went to the marina thinking that the meeting was there, and so Mylan sent them on their way here. I know that was about 15, 20 minutes ago, so they should be here any minute, but maybe we move this to the end and kind of just continue on with the agenda and give them a chance to see if they can.
Yes, I would like to meet them and for them to make an effort to come down. That will be fine. We'll move to number 8, and then we'll just come back to 7 as they get here. All right, then we're going to move to number 8. That's a determination of compliance for a retail building at 1035 Fifth Avenue in the Marina redevelopment area. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So my name is Dan Tersman. I'm the Director of Development for Luke Land. Luke Land 2 is the property owner of Lot 2 of the Marina District Development, which is 1035 Fifth Avenue. As many of you, I'm sure, are aware, we have I'm getting feedback on this. We have had a development agreement with Redevelopment for the Marina District Development. And so as part of the agreement, we're coming forth to propose a project on that property, the last remaining property that's undeveloped there. We have approximately 10,000 square foot retail user that is looking.
It's not you.
Not me?
No.
An approximately 10,000 square foot retail user that would be a standalone tenant on the site. We have included in the packet that was submitted as exhibit an example of the building architecture and site plan. We're still in the process of working with the planning department on, finalizing these plans. So these aren't the final, architectural plans or site plan. It's kind of where we stand today, and really this step of the process is more presenting the project to the commission and as asking for a determination of compliance with the original development agreement. So. The overall project is approximately a $2 to $2.5 million investment in development and would result in approximately probably over 40 temporary construction jobs and up to 25 permanent full-time and part-time employees once the project is complete. I don't know if there's any other questions I can answer, but I'm happy to do my best. And I'm going to step away from the mic.
Thank you, Dan. We'll bring Mr. Pullen up.
It's like a Halloween prank.
Did I hear something? Okay, so as Mr. Tersman presented, it is a 10,000 square foot building, retail building at basically the last lot of the Fifth Avenue Marina District development. It is also in a planned unit development district, so there are not only the step as it being in the redevelopment area, but it is the steps through the Plan Commission because of a PUD. Excuse me. The exterior materials include a variety of brick, masonry, and aluminum storefront and architectural metal details. As was indicated, that this is the preliminary stage. This is common to what we do when we have these projects, is that it has not been fully vetted throughout all of the review processes, but we do try and give an evaluation as best we can with the information that we have. A lot of the discussion has centered on some of the aspects of the building that's going to going into the PUD regulations and how this would go before the Plan Commission. I have expressed concerns about the orientation of the building. It is not oriented directly to Fifth Avenue. It's oriented to the southwest to face kind of the Walmart, face the Ross Dress for Less area. Those are discussions that are primarily for the Plan Commission and other parties to review that. As far as the evaluation of this from the standpoint of the redevelopment district, it basically complies with the provisions of the redevelopment district. So therefore, staff does recommend that this project, specific to the new construction of a retail building, we've asked the Redevelopment Commission to determine that this project, specific to the new construction of the retail building, is in compliance with the 1998 North Hammond redevelopment plan for the redevelopment area, subject to further review of the site plan and reorientation of the building towards Fifth Avenue.
Okay. Sounds like a pretty good investment, you know, being $2.1 million, so it's another good piece to add up there north.
Mr. President, if there are no further questions or discussion, I'd like to make a motion that, per staff, that this project is specific to the new construction of the retail building, and it is in compliance with the 1998 North Hammond redevelopment plan for the Marina redevelopment area, subject to further review of the site plan and reorientation of the building towards Fifth Avenue.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion then by Commissioner Myrick, seconded by Commissioner Soto Presley. If there's no further questions for Mr. Poland, then roll call.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Thank you. All right, number 9 is approval of resolution 2022-5, a resolution of Hammond Redevelopment Commission approving the interlocal governmental agreement with the City of Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety, accepting the conveyance of real estate from the City of Hammond, Indiana for 527 State Street.
Members of the commission, this is just a transfer from the city to the redevelopment commission pursuant to statute. You need to approve an intergovernmental agreement and a resolution that is similar to what was approved by the Board of Safety to effectuate the transfer of this property. You essentially have to say, yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of Resolution 2022-5, a resolution of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission approving the interlocal governmental agreement with the City of Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety and accepting the conveyance of real estate from the City of Hammond, Indiana for 527 State Street.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Thomas, seconded by Commissioner Myricks. Thank you, Attorney Westland. Let's have a roll call then, please.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Kind of the same thing again. Number 10 is approval of resolution 2022-6, a resolution of Hammond Redevelopment Commission approving the interlocal governmental agreement with the City of Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety, accepting the conveyance of real estate from the City of Hammond, Indiana for 6219 Holman Avenue.
Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of Resolution 2022-6, a resolution of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission approving the interlocal governmental agreement with the City of Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety and accepting the conveyance of real estate from the City of Hammond, Indiana for 6219 Homan Avenue.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Toman, seconded by Commissioner Soto Presley. That's for the approval of Resolution 2022-6. Let's have roll call, please.
Talmadge.
Yes.
Soto Presley.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Myrick.
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay. We are going to move back to number 7. I think we have the owners here now, Michael and Deborah Cortez. That's for item number 7, approval of 1412 Delo Parkway, the modification of Lost March covenants.
Lost March, and our plans are 290 square feet short of the requirement. And we're asking that our plans be accepted as they are because of the cost involved. Adding the additional 290 square feet would cost us an additional $100,000. That would put us in the $600,000 range. And we weren't really anticipating spending that when we bought the lot.
So the home that you're constructing, is it a ranch? Is it two-story?
It's a ranch with a full-size basement, and the exemption of the square footage wouldn't affect the outside of the house. We have a full-size basement.
Okay, so in the basement, in the future, or when you first construct it, is that gonna be livable square footage, or?
It can be. I believe we're gonna have it roughed in for plumbing, and we're gonna put a bedroom down there and a bathroom.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Things are changing rapidly.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
Is it gonna be a daylight basement, you know, where windows where you would see?
Or is it gonna be a walkout basement?
No, it's not. It's not gonna be a walkout basement. It's gonna be just a regular basement.
Because of the,
Well, daylight too, you could still have windows.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you
well,
see-
windows,
It's gonna
yeah.
have windows, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because the other is an enclosed basement where you can't, you can barely see out. So you're
no,
not
we-
gonna have you're gonna have windows, but it
Yes.
won't be a
Yes.
walkout. It won't be a walkout.
the house is nice. It exceeds the
No, it
allocation
won't
for
be.
bricking, so we over-brick the house. But the square footage makeup is,
You're a little shy.
Just a little.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go into the $600,000 range.
Now, did you have this plan kind of prior in your thoughts before you purchased the lot? Did you kind
No.
of have an idea what you?
Well, we were planning on building
The
a ranch,
ranch.
but we had a different set of prints. I had a custom set of prints made up, but the prices on construction escalated so much that we had to discard them.
It was
You know, we
1.7
couldn't-
million to build our original
It
plan.
was just out of sight,
Right.
and we had to change our plans.
Yeah, things have escalated in the last 2 years.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then we had a hard time finding a builder because most builders don't want to come to the area for just one home.
Right.
So that was a big challenge for us.
No, well, we appreciate you taking down the plan. Looks still very impressive, and like I said, the materials that you're doing. So I don't know if Mr. Poland, would you like to add anything more to this tonight, or? Thank you, folks.
So the question before the redevelopment commission is whether or not to grant a reduction of the minimum square footage requirements of the 2,500 for the living space to the 2113, which is 287. I think my math was off.
387.
No, 387. Yeah, 387. And it's the living space that is the calculation. In addition, This building has a 3-car garage of 935 square feet and a front porch of 154 square feet, which is above that 2113 figure. And so it does make it higher than 2,500 if you want to add those in. The exterior materials are including the cultured stone, and it was this LP smart side material that's in the gable ends, and that was an engineered wood product. The covenants does state that the front facade materials are brick, stone, or other HRC or HPA, meaning the Port Authority approved materials, not to include aluminum, vinyl siding, shingles, or other such siding types. So depending upon how you look at the commas in the structure of that sentence, it's basically what it was prohibiting is any of the different varying types of aluminum vinyl siding materials, because sometimes vinyl materials can have the clapboard look, and sometimes those can have that shingle look. So this is a wood product. It's a composite product, and it is, if you look at the elevations in the building that was part of the packet, that is it is kind of a shingle look. From the standpoint of us looking at the development from all the site plan issues, I do want to note that we were never provided the final site plan because the driveway and the sidewalks are not included. So that is something that would be typically left for staff to do at the appropriate time when permits are officially submitted. So again, the question is whether or not you want to make a motion to accept the reduction of the square footage from the covenants.
I have one question. So aesthetically, will it, even at this minute amount of difference that we're talking about, will it still fit the neighborhood?
I believe so.
Okay.
According to the applicant, he says he believes so. It's okay.
Hey, if I was in your seat, I'd be doing the same thing, believe me.
I think part of it is, even though there are these guidelines for materials and sizes of it, there's no guidelines that says it has to be a certain architectural style. So that's not really an issue for this particular neighborhood. Okay. But just as a general comment, I'm trying to. It's not like you're sticking a white box in the middle of a neighborhood. So
Right.
I don't think he's asking, though, about the style. I think what
It's
Mr.
like,
Myrick is asking is that by reducing it by 387 square feet and allowing this type of building material on the front, will it look out of place relative to the other homes that are going up there? Not like white box versus the rest of the home.
All right, fair enough.
Like in our neighborhood, we live in the same neighborhood, and it's a vacant parcel, and we didn't approve it, not through this board. They didn't approve it because none of us have garages on the front, and that lady wanted a garage on the front, so it wouldn't fit the neighborhood. So that's my question. Will it still fit the neighborhood?
In the general sense of that, yes, it will fit in a neighborhood.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, I don't think, the reason for the covenants, and these were kind of mulled over at the time of the transfer when we did the auction, okay? And I remember this couple at the auction, and after the auction, actually, I think I had a drink with them at the bar. But the idea behind the covenants were that we didn't want, we wanted all of the homes to maintain a certain style as well as a certain price point, right? Like, there are golf course lots that we were offering based on appraised golf course lot prices. And we wanted this parkway to kind of stand out as kind of a preeminent area. And I think, with regard to the square footage, they're making up for it, number one, with a full basement, and Mr. Myrick's is a Realtor,
Realtor, not realtor, realtor.
right, you'll know that, there's been some debate, like when I go to list my house, do I include stuff that's below ground or not, right?
Right.
That's been over the last 20 years. 20 years ago, you couldn't include it, now you can, right? Like, so, it's, 387 square feet, when you look at the size of the garage, the overall layout, I think the answer to your question is, yeah, it's gonna
Yes,
fit
okay.
fine. I don't know about the wood product, but again, the reason for the facade covenant was because we wanted it to keep a certain,
Integrity.
integrity and look for the neighborhood. I think there's enough stone on the front of this that I'm not concerned that that's an issue, so, my advice would be that the minor modifications that they're requesting from the covenant should be granted.
Well, with all
Mr.
that,
President, I did have one question before we did open the line. I don't know if Mr. Westland or Mr. Pullen can answer, but how many lots are still ready to be built upon?
There's only one that has not been built on at all.
So this isn't a problem we're going to anticipate occurring
We've had,
on a regular basis due to the increase in material costs right now.
we have had one other person ask for a deviation from the square footage, which was granted, and it was granted because it was the corner lot that was a little bit smaller anyway. So it wouldn't have been fair, I don't think. I think the commission determined it wouldn't have been fair to hold her but everybody else has met or exceeded, and then, of course, we have the one that has not built yet.
Mr. President, if we have no further discussion or any questions, I make a motion for the approval, 1412 Deadlow Parkway, the modification of the Lost Marsh Covenants.
And I would just like, Mr. Myers, that be specific, right? Because the covenant's specific to the proposed house of 2,113 square feet, which excludes the porch and attached garage, and also to allow the materials, which are LP Smart Side, as shown in the drawings.
So moved, because I'm not repeating that.
Okay. We got a who seconded? I'm sorry. Did anybody second that?
Nobody seconded it.
Oh, I second that.
Okay, we have a motion then by Commissioner Myrick, seconded by Commissioner Soto Presley. Let's have a roll call then, please.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Duray,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Poppers.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I have one
Congratulations.
request, though. When you finish it, we would love to see it.
Yeah. I was just going to say as well, thank you so much. I know that in light of the pandemic and the rising prices of materials, sometimes new construction is very difficult at a time like this. We really appreciate you making an investment within the city of Hammond in such a premier area and being so committed to that even today with everything you went through to get here. So we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations, good luck.
All righty. Thank you, everyone. Let's working together. That was very nice. Thank you. Number 11 then is our bills, register of claims dating September 9th, 2022 to September 30th, 2022.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the register of claims for September 9th, 2022 through September 30th, 2022 for register of claims R62107 through R62205 inclusive.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Commissioner Soto Presley, second by Commissioner Myrick. That's for the register of claims. That's claims R62107 through claim R62205. Is there any questions on these claims for staff? since there is none, then roll call.
Talmadge?
Yes.
Little Presley?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Uppridge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. All right, number 12's reports. Ms. Africa Tara, would you like to share anything tonight?
I sure would. I just have some information regarding some previous events and an upcoming event. The previous events being the job fair held on September 22nd. This was the annual job fair. It was greatly attended. We had a lot of participants. It's my understanding that some people were hired on site, so that's a very successful event that takes place every year that encourages either unemployed individuals or underemployed individuals. Also, the Realtors Breakfast, which was held on September 29th, was very well attended. I believe Commissioner Myers was there as well. This is a way that we keep the realtors that have properties within the city of Hammond. They find out a lot of things within a lot of positive things that are taking place within the city of Hammond that helps make our properties more marketable. And the first annual food festival that was hosted by the Hammond Development Corporation was held October 1st at the Sportsplex. And this was a wonderful venue for a lot of the entrepreneurs that have went through the Commercial Kitchen and the Hammond Development Entrepreneurship Program. That it was very well attended. I went myself and purchased some food, and I mean, it was a very successful event held at the Sportsplex. Those are some of the events that take place within the city of Hammond that really spotlight some of the things that we have that makes us stand out. Also, we have the annual Volunteers Breakfast, which will be held October 27th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., which celebrates volunteers within the city of Hammond. And that'll be at the Dynasty Banquets. That is all I have tonight.
Thank you, all good stuff. All right, then, number 13's new and unfinished business.
None at this time.
Okay. Number 14 is public comment. Public comment is open now. Public comment is open if anybody would like to come forward and speak. Okay, public comments closed then. Public comments closed. Number 15.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.